In a galaxy far, far away, a debate has raged for decades. Which is stronger, the Jedi or the Sith? The light or the dark? Today, we're diving deep into this timeless question to uncover the truth. Welcome to Star Wars Lore. Today, we're tackling one of the most hotly debated topics in Star Wars history. Which side is truly stronger, the Jedi or the Sith? The light side or the dark side of the Force? This question has fascinated fans and scholars of the Star Wars universe ever since the saga began in 1977. The conflict between the Jedi and the Sith is the backbone of Star Wars, driving the narratives of heroes and villains across the galaxy. But beyond the lightsaber duels and epic battles, there's a deeper, philosophical struggle between these two opposing sides of the Force. Let's dive in and explore this epic conflict, uncovering the strengths and weaknesses of both the Jedi and the Sith. First, let's delve into the fundamental ideologies that define the Jedi and the Sith. The Sith, driven by ambition, passion, and a desire to dominate, seek power for themselves above all else. They believe in the survival of the fittest, where only the strong have the right to rule. This ideology is rooted in their belief that strength comes from unleashing their emotions, anger, fear, and hatred, using these powerful feelings to fuel their connection to the dark side of the Force. For the Sith, power is the ultimate goal, and they are willing to sacrifice anything, including their humanity, to obtain it. This belief system makes them incredibly dangerous, as they are not bound by moral constraints or compassion. On the other hand, the Jedi seek knowledge of the Force to protect others and maintain peace across the galaxy. Their ideology is centered on selflessness, compassion, and the pursuit of balance. Jedi are trained to let go of their emotions, particularly those that lead to the dark side, like fear and anger. Instead, they cultivate inner peace, harmony, and a deep connection to the living Force. The Jedi believe that true strength comes from understanding the Force and using it to serve others rather than for personal gain. This fundamental difference in philosophy is what sets the Jedi and the Sith on a collision course throughout history, leading to countless battles and struggles for control of the galaxy. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the most powerful Sith Lords in Star Wars history, those who have embodied the dark side's relentless pursuit of power and domination. First, there's Darth Vitiate, also known as the Sith Emperor. Vitiate's power was so immense that he annihilated all life on his home planet of Nathema in a single ritual, consuming the life force of an entire world to fuel his immortality. This act not only showcases the raw destructive potential of the dark side, but also highlights the Sith's willingness to sacrifice everything, even entire planets, for power. Then we have Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger, who possessed the terrifying ability to drain the life force from entire planets. His hunger for power became so great that he could no longer be considered fully human. He became a dark void, a being of pure dark side energy that could consume everything in his path. Nihilus's reach in the Force extended across the galaxy, allowing him to sense and destroy planets teeming with life, all in his insatiable quest for power. Darth Sidious, the Emperor we all know from the films, was perhaps the most cunning and powerful Sith Lord in galactic history. Sidious wasn't just a master manipulator, he was also incredibly powerful on the dark side. He could create hyperspace wormholes capable of destroying entire worlds, demonstrating his command over the most destructive aspects of the Force. And let's not forget Darth Plagueis, Sidious' own master, who was said to have the power to manipulate midichlorians to create life and prevent death, making him one of the most feared Sith in Legends. These Sith Lords exemplify the dark side's ability to harness destructive power on an unimaginable scale. But does this raw power make the Sith stronger than the Jedi? Or is there more to strength than sheer destructive capability? Let's explore what the Jedi have to offer. On the light side, the Jedi have their own formidable warriors and sages who have mastered the Force in ways that are no less impressive. Let's start with Luke Skywalker, the legendary Jedi who played a pivotal role in bringing balance to the Force. Luke's grasp over the Force was so profound that he could perform feats that bordered on the miraculous. For instance, he was able to freeze objects in time, manipulate the gravitational pull of black holes, and even fight Abeloth, a being who is perhaps the closest representation of the dark side itself. Luke's strength in the Force wasn't just about physical power, it was about understanding and embodying the Force's will, making him one of the most powerful Jedi in history. Grand Master Yoda, another iconic Jedi, was renowned not just for his wisdom, but also for his incredible combat abilities. During the Clone Wars, Yoda twice fought and defeated Darth Tyrannus, also known as Count Dooku, a powerful Sith Lord and former Jedi. Yoda's mastery of the Force was so complete that he could have easily overwhelmed even the most powerful Sith, including Darth Sidious, if he had ever chosen to embrace the dark side. But Yoda's true strength lay in his unwavering commitment to the light, his deep connection to the Force, and his ability to maintain peace and clarity in the face of overwhelming darkness. And then there's Anakin Skywalker, whose potential in the Force was virtually limitless. Anakin was regarded as the most powerful Force user to have ever lived, with abilities that could have surpassed even the greatest Jedi and Sith. His strength was so great that, had he fully embraced the light side, he could have brought unprecedented balance to the Force. Unfortunately, his tragic fall to the dark side highlights the fine line between power and destruction, a theme central to the Star Wars saga. Clearly, there have been extremely powerful users of both the light and dark sides of the Force. But why does the dark side often have the reputation of being more powerful? To answer that question, let's examine some of the most significant battles between the two sides. One of the reasons the dark side is often perceived as more powerful is because of its intense, aggressive nature. The dark side taps into raw emotions like anger, fear, and hatred, which can provide an immediate boost in strength, speed, and ferocity. This is evident in some of the most famous battles in Star Wars history. Take the Duel of Fates, for example, where the Sith apprentice Darth Maul faced off against Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Despite being only an apprentice, Maul was able to defeat Qui-Gon, a Jedi Master who was not only highly skilled in lightsaber combat, but also deeply connected to the Force. Qui-Gon's mastery of the Force and his lightsaber skills were formidable, but they weren't enough to overcome Maul's raw, aggressive power. This battle is significant because it shows how the dark side can allow even a less experienced Sith to overpower a seasoned Jedi Master. However, Maul's victory was short-lived. After killing Qui-Gon, Maul was defeated by Obi-Wan, a Padawan who was driven by his own rage and grief. Obi-Wan's ability to channel his emotions, even briefly, allowed him to defeat Maul, highlighting both the power and peril of the dark side. Another example is the duel between Anakin Skywalker and Count Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. When Anakin embraced the dark side, he was able to channel his rage into raw power, making him stronger and faster than before. This allowed him to defeat Dooku, who had previously bested him in battle. Anakin's victory was significant because it showed how the dark side could unlock hidden potential within a Force user, allowing them to achieve feats they might not have been capable of otherwise. The confrontation between Mace Windu and Emperor Palpatine is equally significant. Mace Windu, one of the greatest Jedi duelists, developed a unique lightsaber form known as Vapad. This form allowed him to channel his own dark impulses during combat, turning his opponent's dark side energy against them. This is why Mace was able to gain the upper hand against Sidious, arguably the most powerful Sith Lord in history before Anakin's betrayal. Mace's mastery of Vapad shows that even the dark side's greatest strengths can be countered by a Jedi who understands how to harness and control their own inner darkness. And finally, let's look at the climactic battle between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. Throughout the battle, Vader repeatedly urges Luke to use the dark side, to give in to his anger and hatred. Luke resists until Vader threatens to turn Leia to the dark side, which pushes Luke over the edge. Fueled by rage, Luke unleashes a flurry of attacks that overpower Vader, severing his hand and knocking him to the ground. In this moment, we see the seductive power of the dark side, how it can grant incredible strength in the heat of battle. But we also see its danger, as Luke nearly loses himself to the darkness. Vader may not have been giving it his all, but Luke's descent into anger shows how even the purest Jedi can be tempted by the dark side's promise of power. While the dark side offers a surge of power, it comes at a cost. It's like an adrenaline rush, quick, intense, but it fades, leaving the user vulnerable. The light side, however, is about long-term strength, balance, and resilience. Jedi like Luke and Yoda show us that true power comes from mastery over oneself, not just the ability to dominate others. Yoda himself tells Luke that the dark side is not stronger, it's just quicker, easier, and more seductive. The light side might not have the flash and flare of the dark side, but it's stable, sustainable, and leads to lasting peace and harmony. The Jedi believe that strength comes from discipline, understanding, and maintaining a deep connection to the Force without letting emotions cloud their judgment. This approach allows Jedi to remain in control, even in the face of overwhelming odds, and to make decisions that lead to long-term success rather than short-term gain. Take, for example, the moment when Luke chooses not to strike down Vader in Return of the Jedi. Despite being pushed to the brink of giving in to his anger, Luke pulls back, throwing away his lightsaber and refusing to become what he despised. This act of restraint is a perfect example of the light side's true strength, its ability to resist the temptation of power in favor of peace and compassion. This moment ultimately leads to Vader's redemption and the defeat of the Emperor, showing that the light side's power lies not in domination, but in the ability to inspire change and bring balance. Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy is a perfect example of the potential of the light side. Unlike the old Jedi Order, Luke encouraged connections, believing they made Jedi stronger. This idea was also championed by Revan, a Jedi who believed that love and positive emotions could enhance a Jedi's connection to the Force. Revan's philosophy, though controversial, suggested that a deeper understanding of both the light and dark sides of the Force could lead to a greater balance and ultimately make Jedi more powerful. Revan's ideas were ahead of his time, showing that Jedi who embrace love, compassion, and even a touch of darkness could connect with the Force in unique ways. Luke later applied these teachings in his own academy, allowing his students to form bonds and explore their emotions in a healthy way, which strengthened their connection to the light side. This approach led to the development of new abilities and a deeper understanding of the Force, making Luke's Jedi Order more resilient and powerful than ever before. For example, Jedi like Master Plo Koon were known for their ability to use positive emotions to wield the Force in unique ways. Plo Koon developed Electric Judgment, a non-lethal light side variant of Force Lightning, demonstrating that even powers typically associated with the dark side could be used for good when wielded with the right intentions. This balance between strength and compassion is what makes the light so powerful. It's not just about defeating enemies, but about understanding the Force in its entirety and using it to create a better galaxy. So, which side is stronger? The truth is, it depends on the user. The dark side may offer raw, destructive power, but it also brings arrogance and recklessness, often leading to downfall. The light side, on the other hand, may be less flashy, but it's all about control, wisdom, and making better decisions in the long run. It's about using the Force to protect and inspire, rather than to dominate and destroy. In the end, the light side and dark side represent different paths to power, but one is not necessarily stronger than the other. It's how that power is used, and the consequences of that use, that truly matters. So what do you think? Is the dark side more powerful than the light, or do you believe in the enduring strength of the light side? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Star Wars lore, Force push the like button and subscribe for more content. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one.